I don't.
But
no,
the perceived cost.
I just think that it's the factualness or the what you call the mythological aspect of the belief itself doesn't seem to me to have any. What's the word I'm looking for? It doesn't seem to have any to make any difference in that sense, because what I'm trying to say is for the purposes of your cause, for getting rid of the fanatics, it would seem better to work with the moderates, even though you may not agree with all their views on God, etc.
Well,
because even if you get rid of all the moderate beliefs, it's not necessarily going to make sure that the fanatics are going to go away. I mean, they may just be, for all intents and purposes, they may just be more influenced to be fanatical because of what they see you're trying to do.
Okay.
Well, I was just going to say, one of the difficulties there is that the fanatics, the fundamentalists, generally have Scripture on their side. They can generally point to the Bible verses that say, God really wants this, and they generally know their Bible pretty well. The moderates really don't have a leg to stand on because they're on such flimsy ground. They're kind of taking bits and pieces of the religion and ignoring a lot of the rest of it. They're on shaky ground. They really can't win any arguments with the fundamentalists. They're in a bad situation that way. In a sense, the atheists are the only ones who have the ability to argue against them by escaping the whole biblical worldview in order to get at the right answer. We have the evidence on our side and these sorts of things. The purpose of our show is to reach out to people who may be fence-sitting or whatever, but they may or may not be religious moderates. A lot of religious moderates are pretty closed-minded to, ideas that counter their religious beliefs. So I don't know that we can reach those people, and I don't know that they can help win against the fundamentalists because they don't have the scriptural basis to do it. They'd have to pretty much come to our side, I think, completely, and that's a tough row to hoe.
I could see your perspective there. Of course, I would disagree to some extent because I think that once people kind of learn more about their traditions, they tend to be less fanatic. But of course, we have a disagreement there. I know that, but. Also, the reason I also brought this subject up was previously, Don, you had stated that variations in belief kind of show the evolution of religious views, and also how there's not some sort of objective monolithic, structure. And what I want to say was also, can't this equally be applied to, political theories? Should we get rid of those things as well because there are? We should get rid of politics altogether because there's variations of
in those cases, nobody's claiming that there's a God there, an all-powerful, all-knowing God that is perfect, right? It's only the religions that's making those sorts of claims. So absolutely, politics is a human endeavor, and there's going to be mistakes. There's going to be going up blind alleys. There's going to be things that happen bad. Hopefully, we can learn from them and move on. But religion, and especially monotheistic religions, where you're saying there's one God we're following, you have to hold those folks, I think, to a higher standard, in that if they can communicate to that God and this God is the author of morality and these sorts of things, then by gosh, there should be some higher level of behavior. You should have a lot more continuity, a lot more focus of effort. Because all these people want to talk to that God and want to please that God, and why aren't they all behaving the same way? Mm-hmm. So that's the point that I was trying to get at there.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I just wanted to call in and ask those questions and just kind of have like a small discussion. I don't have much time, but it's okay if I call you guys maybe next week?
You can call in every single week as long as you got a good question and something interesting to talk about.
Okay,
So by all means.
Appreciate your civility. Thank you so much.
All right, Holly. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Good luck to you. And I wanted. Oh gosh, see, I've hung up on him, and I have one more point to make of his question about working with the moderates.
Yeah,
and
I'm sure you want to weigh in there too.
I think he brought up the example of Darwinism and the misuse of Darwinism. Let's say he meant social Darwinism, right?
I think he was talking about the idea that we don't want to alienate religious believers on the topic of evolution, because a lot of religious believers who are moderates believe in evolution, and they could be an ally in
Well,
getting it taught properly. I think that's where he was
okay,
going with
no, I am not going to say, as long as you believe true thing A, I will therefore shut up about your belief in untrue thing B. That's not how it works, if that's what he meant.
Yeah, most atheists don't buy into that idea. A lot of scientists do. They think, well, maybe we should make some incremental progress here where we're teaching
There are people who argue
science.
for that.
You have people that argue that. Most atheists don't buy into that. Most atheists are kind of, let's get at the real truth and let's not
as
entertain
allies,
a lot of false ideas.
as allies against the fanatics, right? Here's what I want to get at, right? I don't see moderate religionists going after religious extremists. I don't see it. The reason I don't see it is because of that old saw, people who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. There's very little that a moderate believer can say about why a fanatical believer is wrong, other than, well, I think you're just misinterpreting it and being mean. What is ultimately said, what's in the Holy Book is the same for both groups. That makes it very, very difficult for them. Nor do I see moderates going back and saying, hey, you know what, these passages in the Bible, getting back to your talk today, these passages in the Bible saying that, oh yeah, God will give you money if you kowtow to him, right? Those passages are causing trouble, therefore us moderates are going to get rid of them. I don't see
That'll
that
never
happening. I don't see that happening. I see basically no evidence. Now, there are extreme cases, like I happen to know in the little bit of research I did to prepare myself for your talk today, I also found a list of major evangelists who oppose the whole prosperity gospel thing. There are some, right? And I'm glad they're opposing that. But that gets us back to this question of, well, am I then going to stop arguing with them, stop exposing what I think are the things that those guys believe that I think are not true? Am I going to stop talking about that because I think they'll stop being against this other thing that's bad? No. No, I won't. That's not how
we can
knowledge
encourage
works.
them in a limited way.
The progress of human knowledge is not about, playing a little game with, okay, we'll allow you to believe this untrue thing and shut up about how silly we think that is, as long as you'll join with us in opposing this other untrue thing. It doesn't work that way.
Well, politics works that way, but atheism doesn't very much.
It's not atheism, it's knowledge.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
A thing is either true or it's not. Bottom line.
Yeah, we subscribe to more of the scientific idea of, let's test this, and if it's true, it's true. If it's not, it's not.